I am a capybara. I look like a guinea pig, but with a more stoic, rectangular face. You can picture it. I'm all about zoning out. I love a good soak. Better yet, I love zoning out while soaking. Being this relaxed means just about every animal gets along with me. A duck wants to perch on my head? Sure, I'll zone out. A pelican nipping at my face? No problem. Zone out. A crocodile offering me a ride? Yep, still zoning out. There's an aesthetic to it. A kind of existing without caring vibe balanced somewhere between life and death. Until the day I woke up in the body of a Z-list actress in America. Breaking my contract would cost a fortune. So, for now, I'm trapped in showbiz. It's not forever. I've already found a way to make some cash. Playing dead $150 a day with craft services included. At this pace, I'll own out my contract in roughly a century. I'm perfectly okay with this plan. My agency, on the other hand, is not. Today's shoot did not go as planned. I was playing a corpse in a patch of bushes, maybe blending a little too well because the male lead stepped right on me. It was a war scene. He had over 20 pounds of prop armor on. I nearly expelled a lung. He froze for a beat, then carried on with his lines. The pain was so sharp I passed out. When I woke, an extra was wandering around with my phone looking for me. The shoot had wrapped hours ago. I'd slept so long no one noticed I'd gone missing. I pushed myself up slowly, startling him. "Penny, you're still here?" he said. He handed me my phone. "Missed a call," he added. It had long gone to voicemail. I glanced at the screen. My agent, seeing me blankly stare. He asked, "Aren't you going to call back?" "They'll call again," I said. He gave me a look that was equal parts tired and exasperated. "You can't stay this calm all the time, Penny. You fell asleep on set again. They already paid the extras. You worked for free." "Come on, let me buy you dinner," I yawned. "I'll just come back tomorrow." He sighed, clearly defeated. "Yeah, you should probably get some rest." "Bye," I said, rubbing my eyes. For a moment, his expression softened as he looked at my drowsy face. As I left, I noticed the male lead pacing, frowning deeply. Someone mentioned he was searching for someone to apologize to. I wiped off my corpse makeup and walked right past him. Then my phone rang. My agent, Brenda. Video call? The second I answered, her exasperated face filled the screen. "I've had it, Penny. Even if you're nobody, you're my nobody. And now the network is shoving you onto that reality show to be Sienna Croft's foil." I blinked slowly. "A foil?" Brenda looked like she might explode. "It's the oldest, cheapest trick in marketing. You don't know. They want you to be a hopeless train wreck disaster, so Sienna looks amazing by comparison." I nodded. "Ah, so that's me. Hopeless. Totally incompetent." "Fine, just go," she muttered, all fight gone. "And for heaven's sake, brush your hair. It looks like a furry bomb went off. You're an adult. How do you still have that cowlick?" She muttered more before hanging up. I went back to zoning out. I kind of wish Brenda were here. She hates my bedhead. She would have fixed it for me. Our group arrived on location for the shoot, one of those brutal back-to-nature survival reality shows. The live stream started the instant we stepped out of the van. Sienna and I were this week's guest stars. The regular cast had 5 members, 4 men and 1 woman. The guys included an A-list actor, a boy band idol, a rock singer, and a professional athlete. The woman was a well-known actress famous for her sharp tongue. Sienna had worked with most of them before. She fit right in immediately, laughing, hugging, calling everyone by name. I, being a complete nobody, lingered awkwardly off to the side. The live chat was flooded with comments about how good-looking everyone was. The few mentions of me were filled with confusion. Who is that? Never seen her before. Probably some random add-on the producer shoved in. Ugh. So naturally, I zoned out until Sienna called across the set bright and loud. "Oh, I almost forgot. Penny, what are you doing way over there? Come say hi." I had no choice but to walk down the line, shaking hands. "Hi, I'm Penny," I said 4 times until I met the A-list actor's eyes. I frowned. "You?" It was the guy who'd stepped on me. He blinked in confusion, then gave a polite, professional smile. "I'm Ethan Cole." The tone implied he had no idea who I was, which made sense. I'd been covered in fake blood at the time. No one remembers a corpse, but the live stream chat went wild. Is she trying to pick a fight with Ethan Cole? Girl, no. Ethan looks so done right now. She's seriously playing the villain on her first day. He looked mildly irritated, and I figured he'd misunderstood. Still, I didn't bother clarifying. I just zoned out again. That night, we had to compete in games to earn dinner. I had tuned out through most of the explanation, so when it was my turn, the only challenge left was archery. Sienna gave me a wide-eyed look. "Oh, Penny, do you even know how to use a bow?" I nodded. When you play a corpse, sometimes you get a mini fight scene before dying. The stunt coordinator once told me I had decent aim, so I was often the one firing prop arrows that bounced harmlessly off the hero's armor. Of course, the hero always lived. Only I died. Sienna's smile froze. "Are you sure?" she asked again. I suddenly remembered my mission from the agency to look like a total disaster, so I shook my head. The chat immediately turned hostile. "Fake much?" Said yes, then chickened out. Dead weight. The rest of the cast is gold. And they brought her? Can't act, can't shoot. Nepo baby energy? Sienna put a hand to her chest. "How about I take her turn? I actually learned archery for a role once." She smiled sweetly for the camera. Awkwardly, I'd been in that same movie. I played the assassin who was supposed to die after missing her shot. Sienna had insisted on doing the archery scenes herself. It took 8 takes before they switched to CGI. Meanwhile, I had to get killed by her 8 times before the director was satisfied. Still, I just said, okay. But a producer quickly interrupted. "Sienna, you already played in the Pictionary round. If you take her spot again, you'll have to accept a penalty." Without hesitation, Sienna agreed. Face full of brave determination. The original task was simple. Shoot an orange off a post. The penalty? The orange would be balanced on my head. Chat went into chaos. Karma's real. Wait, isn't that kind of dangerous? Relax. Sienna said she knows what she's doing. Penny will probably refuse anyway. I sighed and quietly placed the orange on my head. Sienna looked confident as ever, ready to prove herself. But 10 arrows later, 9 missed completely and the last one grazed my cheek, drawing a thin cut of blood. Instantly, her eyes filled with tears. "Oh my God, Penny, I'm so sorry. I was terrified of hitting you. That's why I missed. I was trying to be so careful." The other cast members rushed to comfort her. The live stream chat turned into a river of sympathy for her. Somehow, I was the villain again. A few comments asked if I was okay, but they were quickly buried under the flood of pity for Sienna. I touched my cheek. My fingers came away bloody. The movement made the orange fall to the ground, rolling into the dirt. I crouched, picked it up, and handed it to a nearby crew member. "Sorry, I got it dirty. Do you still want it?" He looked at me like I was from another planet. "You don't need to apologize for that." I barely heard the rest, but since no one wanted it, I quietly peeled the orange and ate it. It was surprisingly sweet. These things go for $8 a pound at the store. Total win. Chat comments started shifting tone. "Her face is bleeding, but she's just eating the orange. Honestly, I thought she'd cry or throw a fit. I don't even like her, but her chill level is next level." When I finished eating, I brushed off my hands. "I'll do it," I said. I wasn't sure if the agency would dock my pay for breaking character, but if this dragged on any longer, I'd probably fall asleep standing up. I set the orange peel down on the dirt and picked up the bow that Sienna had abandoned. I drew back the string, notched an arrow, and closed my eyes for a beat. Flip. The arrow pinned the peel to the ground. Live chat erupted. "OMG, she's littering. How could she?" I glanced around for a trash can. None in sight. As a rodent, I take environmental responsibility very seriously. I would never be uncivilized. Maybe I should just eat the peel. I lifted it toward my mouth, then froze when our eyes met. Sienna was glaring, furious that I had utterly failed at being the failure my role required. Perfect. She'd probably report me to the network, and my pay was definitely in jeopardy. Being yelled at doesn't usually bother me. It goes in one ear out the other. But still, the tear streaks on her cheeks made me hesitate. I stepped closer and gently wiped a tear from her face. "I'm sorry, that was my fault." A little trick I'd picked up from the extra the other day. When in doubt, apologize. With that done, I turned and collected the team's reward, a basket of ingredients. Live chat. "Wait, was that kind of sweet?" Sienna squealed. "Ah, Penny, did you just put a dirty orange peel in my pocket?" Live chat. Yep, I was crazy. I snuck a bite of lettuce from the basket and closed my eyes, savoring the moment. 2 problems solved at once. Perfect. Sienna seemed calmer now. The next day, lunch was on our own. I was paired with Wyatt, the pro athlete, and our task was to catch fish. We made our way to the riverbank, lined with tall reeds swaying in the wind. Basically, a capybara's dream buffet. Unfortunately, this human body probably couldn't handle wild plants. I reluctantly chewed on a reed, cast my fishing line, and settled onto the bank to zone out. Wyatt, ever the swimmer, had already stripped down and was thrashing around in the river, trying to catch fish with his bare hands. Early 20s, all lean muscle and relentless energy. He turned the water without showing any fatigue. He scared away the fish nibbling my bait, then flashed a perfect grin. "Penny, come on in. The water's amazing." Live chat went nuts. Those abs. I am looking respectfully, but he's scaring the fish. Overexcited golden retriever vibes. Abs drool, but maybe focus on the task. Someone wipe their chin, please. You're drooling on me. I set down my rod and slowly got up. The chat buzzed with anticipation, clearly expecting me to scold him. "Okay," I said. I love a good soak, and since he invited me, the agency couldn't accuse me of slacking off, right? I settled into the shallow water and zoned out. "Hey, Penny, let's race," Wyatt called. "Your goal is that rock. I'll swim to that tree over there. First one there wins. On 3, go." He shot off like a torpedo. I had been nearly asleep, so his sudden shout startled me. I blinked, confused. Huh? Where did he go? Back to sleep. Live chat. Someone clipped that. Wyatt didn't see her move. He's lost on the other side. Penny just looked up, saw he was gone, and went back to sleep. She looks exhausted all the time. By the time the crew tracked down Wyatt and dragged him back, the morning was nearly over. He looked distraught. We didn't catch a single fish. What are we going to tell Ethan and the others? As he spoke, his gaze fell on me, still sitting in the shallow water, and he went silent. Live chat exploded. Wait, I was just in Wyatt's dream. Can someone explain why there's a duck on Penny's head? I think that's the duck Wyatt scared onto the bank earlier. If you're new here, hang tight. It gets weirder. I had been zoning out again, and Wyatt's voice yanked me back to reality. He was staring, completely stunned, pointing at my head with a trembling finger. There's a duck on your head?" "Oh," I said casually. Back when I was a capybara, I often had 3 or 4 ducks hanging out at once. My human head is smaller, so only one fits at a time. I glanced at the sun, realizing my soak was over, and began to stand. The duck squawked and flew off, but something else tumbled out of my chaotic bed. Instinctively, I caught it. It was an egg. Live chat went wild. I thought it couldn't get weirder. It got weirder. Weird. I paused for a moment, then under Wyatt's stunned gaze, handed him the egg for lunch. His eyes watered. "Oh my God, Penny, you're amazing!" I blinked. I eat grass. Giving him an egg felt normal. What was so special about that? I gathered a bundle of reeds to take back with me. I told everyone they were purely decorative, but secretly I planned a snack on them later. The rest of the cast swarmed Wyatt, asking how he'd gotten the egg. Sienna, however, turned to me with a frown. "It's fine you didn't catch any fish, but this was a team effort. You can't just play in the water all morning and come back with a bunch of weeds, can you?" "I'm sorry," I said. Then with a nice smile I added, "You can have some Sienna." The internet. "Sorry, Sienna, but I can't stop laughing. Go ahead and laugh. I'll take the karma hit, borrowing the karma from above." Over by the fire, Ethan and the others finally got the story from Wyatt. Clearing his throat, Ethan said, "It's okay, Sienna. Penny got the egg, and she, He trailed off clearly at a loss to explain the egg's origin, then looked at me gravely. "You worked hard." I yawned and drifted off, slipping once more into a blissful daze. On the 3rd day, the show once again decided that food was optional. This time, we were sent into a small-town market with no money and told to figure something out. My team included Finn, the pretty boy idol, and Zane, a brooding rock singer. Their names were similar. Their jobs overlapped, and honestly, I couldn't tell them apart. Brenda had mentioned they were bitter rivals. Oil and water, she's usually right about this kind of thing. Both spoke up at once. "I'll busk for money," Finn snorted. "You? This is a farmer's market, not a concert hall. Your screaming will send the grandmas running for cover." Zane rolled his eyes. "And what are you going to do? Serenade them with your dance moves? Have some dignity?" I grabbed both of their hands. No fighting in my capybara family. Nobody argued. We just drifted apart and stared into space when things got tense. This was my first attempt at peacekeeping. I'm a very sensual person, I said earnestly. Conflict upsets me. Finn, Zane, do you mean sentimental? Live chat? Ha ha ha. I was about to be mad that Penny's holding my boy's hand, but now I'm just confused. She's so sensual, I can't even be jealous, I sighed. Fine, I'll sing. Both of them exchanged a look, the kind that said, "This will be a disaster," but nodded anyway. I'd learned to speak human a while ago. Singing couldn't be that different, right? I took a deep breath and began, "Oh, the brother on the boat and the sister on the shore." The sound that came out was flat. Completely flat. Finn frowned. "Penny, is this rap?" Zane winced. "And those lyrics are backwards." I tried again. "Oh, the sister on the shore and the brother on the boat." Both groaned in unison. "We'll handle this, Penny." I hesitated. "You'll fight." They shook their heads like terrified bobbleheads. "Nope. Promise, no fighting, live chat." Wait, they're actually performing together. What alternate universe is this? Thank you, Penny. My gossip heart is fed. Zane took the lead, his rough voice softening into a surprisingly gentle ballad. Finn danced beside him, every move polished and graceful. My task was simple. Collect the money. I placed a bowl on the ground and sat cross-legged beside it, zoning out while coins clinked. At one point, a $10 bill fluttered in. I looked up into the face of a dog. I blinked. The owner, a cheerful young woman, smiled. He's a big fan. He wanted to pay himself. Maybe I stared too long because she added kindly, "You can pet him if you want." Before I could answer, the border collie stood on his hind legs and gently patted my head. The woman! She looked ready to apologize, but before she could, a 3-wheeled cargo cart came barreling through the market, swerving straight toward us. Zane spotted it first. "Penny, move!" Before he could finish, Finn had already launched himself sideways, straight into the river. This part of the river was deep and fast. Nothing like the shallows Wyatt and I had fished in before. Zane blinked. "Wait, he can swim?" He looked around wildly. "Where's Penny?" The border collie's owner pointed. "She pushed me out of the way and jumped in." "Me underwater." Surprise! Capybaras may be slow on land, but in water, we're basically torpedoes. I surfaced, blinking just in time to hear splashing and shouting. Live chat. "Oh my god, Finn can't swim. Zane's going in after him. Wait, no, Finn's dragging him under. This is chaos." I swam over, gently lifting Finn's head above the water, while the border collie dove in again to help Zane to shore. Finn coughed up a lungful of river water. "Thanks, Penny." I frowned. "We lost our money." He wheezed. "No, we didn't. It's in my pocket. It's wet, but..." He trailed off, patting his waist, only to realize he wasn't wearing pants, just boxers. I pointed downriver. "There go your shorts." A pair of gray athletic shorts floated away, slowly vanishing into the current. Finn wailed. "My pants." "It's okay," I said helpfully. "You still have one pair on?" I squinted to confirm. SpongeBob SquarePants boxers. Finn crossed his legs miserably. "Please, my career," live chat moved. "I'm his fan. I get to screenshot first." I took off my son's shirt and tied it around Finn's waist. He looked miserable. "I'm so sorry, Penny. I lost everything. The money, my dignity, probably my future." "It's fine," I said simply. "I can always eat grass." Finn's eyes went glossy. "You're too kind." Live chat. "Stop. She's too pure. I'm actually crying right now. Me. What's so touching about that?" I meant it literally. Humans are so dramatic. In the end, our situation wasn't as hopeless as it seemed. The border collie's owner turned out to be an off-duty police officer. She called a few colleagues, and somehow they managed to fish Finn's pants out of the river. The money survived. We even earned a small reward. The officer gave me a Good Samaritan certificate and $50 for bravery. Finn and Zane were all smiles. I, on the other hand, squatted to take a photo with the border collie. As the camera clicked, the dog stood up on its hind legs and gave me a friendly pat on the head. The officer, it was a good photo. Day 4's challenge was another Earn Your Meal event, a mud pit wheelbarrow race. Each team had 2 members, one pushing, one riding. Whoever crossed the finish line first win ingredients. My partner was Roxy, an upbeat actress with a megawatt smile. Don't worry, Penny, I've got this. 5 seconds later, she tipped me straight into the mud. Oops, it's slippery. Yes, Roxy, that's what mud is. Every other team also wiped out. So I climbed back in covered head to toe and reassured her. It's fine. Back home, when the ponds dried up, we capybaras used to roll in mud to stay hydrated. I actually liked it. But 10 minutes later, I was back in the pit again, this time with a wheelbarrow landing squarely on me. Roxy was nearly in tears. Oh my God, I'm useless. It's okay, I said. Everyone's falling. She glanced around. They're halfway done. I blinked sleepily. Your wheel's broken. She froze. Wait, before we started, I saw Sienna talking to the producers. We both looked at the director, who grinned like a cartoon villain. Looks like you got the short straw. You can swap it out, but you might be a little late. Roxy's face fell. It's too late. They're almost done. I stood up, dripping in mud. Sienna broke our wheelbarrow, so I can interfere, right? The director smirked. As long as one teammate and their wheelbarrow cross the finish line, it's fair game. Got it. I wiped a bit of mud off Roxy's cheek with a tissue. We can still win, because mud was my natural habitat. I slid into the pit and swam through the muck like it was water, heading straight for Sienna's lane. With one smooth push, I toppled her wheelbarrow. She let out a furious scream, glaring at me in disbelief. I'm sorry, I said sincerely, and then pulled her partner Wyatt into the mud too. Wyatt just laughed. You're a genius. Let's take them all down. And we did. Within 10 minutes, every team was stuck floundering in the pit except Roxy, who was quietly wheeling her way to the finish line. I lost focus for a second, and that's when Ethan slipped and accidentally stomped right on my chest. Cough you again, I wheezed. He blinked. Wait, that day on set, that was you? I didn't answer, just swam toward the finish line. The director's voice blared through the speakers. And the winners are Roxy and Penny. What a shocking upset. Roxy was ecstatic. She helped me sit up, wiped my face clean, and offered me water. Penny, can I call you Mom? Me. Live chat. This is weirdly wholesome. I heard Roxy had a tough childhood. Low-key, same. I want a mom like Penny. And Mom, I'm your son. Notice me. Hold on. Did Ethan just imply he knew Penny from before? That was you? Classic setup for a messy romantic backstory. Don't give them ideas. They'll actually make a canon. Ethan left the show the next morning. Some urgent filming conflict. His replacement arrived by helicopter. The son of a tech billionaire. Our task for the day. Follow a series of clues around town to find the rich kid. The first team to locate him would unlock our daily budget. I was back with Finn and Zane again. The first clue was hidden with the owner of a local donut shop. Finn went first, flashing his most charming grin as he started to dance, only to slip on the greasy floor. His momentum carried him right into a perfect kneel at the owner's feet. The man, a burly, middle-aged baker, didn't even blink. Kid, get lost. I already have a son. Zane tried to recover the situation. Sir, perhaps you'd like to hear a song. The owner cut him off. Can you sing Baby Shark? Zane's face froze. Perhaps we can help make donuts instead. No way was a rock star doing do-do-do-do-do-do. The man looked at his ripped jeans and manicured hands, unimpressed. I thought for a moment, then wandered off down the street. When I came back, I handed Zane a pair of fuzzy cat ear headbands. He blinked. What is this? They said, you're a perfectionist performer? I explained. You need proper equipment. I waited. Now, can you sing? He sighed. Who told you that? Your fans. He turned and saw a cluster of girls down the block, one of whom was the admin of his biggest fan account. When she realized he'd spotted her, she immediately looked away, face red. Zane clenched his jaw, then he took the headband and gently placed it on my head. Fine, I'll sing, but I don't need this. A pause. It looks better on you anyway. So he sang Baby Shark. When the meow 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 part came up, I, still wearing the cat ears, curled my hands into little paws and softly meowed along. Zane's voice wavered. The tips of his ears turned bright red. The donut shop owner was so delighted that he handed us the first map piece without hesitation. We were making progress. While Finn and Zane studied the map, I heard someone shout, Mama Penny! A group of young fans waved from across the street. Mama, I repeated, confused. Then came a chorus of Mom from the rest. I scratched my cheek, puzzled. I'd never given birth, but in a capybara herd, all mothers cared for the babies. regardless of whose they were. Maybe humans were like that too. I patted the head of the girl who'd shouted first. "Drink lots of milk so you grow up strong." She beamed. "I will." Humans don't drink capybara milk, but they do drink bubble tea. So I went to the director. "I need $100 to raise my children." He burst out laughing and actually handed it over. "You're unbelievable. Go on." I bought bubble tea for every child, reminding each. "You have to grow tall." "Okay." When I came back, Finn looked at me like he'd been struck by lightning. "Mom," he shouted. I gave him and Zane each a cup. Fairness mattered. I didn't notice Zane blushing again. I was too busy wondering maybe humans should just stay children longer. Later, a young crew member quietly slipped me the final map piece. "Here, Mama Penny, I don't want bubble tea, but don't borrow more money from the director. He'll make you pay it back later." Behind the camera, the director spluttered. "Ungrateful brat. I cast you as the clue giver, not the informant." The map was finally complete. I trailed behind Finn and Zane as we weaved through 18 streets, clambered over 3 dirt mounds, and even waded through a shallow stream. Finn wiped sweat from his brow. "Seriously, this show is insane." Zane glanced at me. "Penny, you okay? Do you want me to carry you?" I didn't respond. My eyes were glued to the map in Finn's hand. After a long pause, I said slowly, "It's upside down." Finn blinked. "What's upside down?" Zane's expression changed. "The map. We've been reading it upside down all this time." Finn live chat. "This is both hilarious and tragic. She's been following them all day and looks so pale. She didn't contribute anything. Honestly, she can't complain. Why is the chat fighting now?" Finn and Zane stared at each other, tension simmering. I was too exhausted to care. Nearby, a group of older women sat on a porch chatting. I shuffled over and plopped into an empty chair. Woman 1. "Sweet girl. Want some sunflower seeds?" Woman 2. "Do you have a boyfriend? My sister-in-law has a very handsome son." Woman 3. "Are you with the cameras? Influencer, perhaps?" I nodded occasionally, half asleep, and by the time Finn and Zane had finished their argument, they found me in the back of an old man's pickup truck, zoning out with a handful of sunflower seeds. The man started the engine and noticed them staring. "Need a ride? I'm taking this young lady to the South Market. Hop in, boys." Live chat. "Finn and Zane are surprisingly useless, aren't they?" Cough. "I want to call Penny. Mom, everyone move. I'm calling her first." Meanwhile, at the South Market, the billionaire's son checked his watch. "Director, didn't you say they'd be here in an hour?" "They're on their way." The director coughed. The young man gave a dead-eyed smile. "That's the 5th time you've said that?" The rich kid wasn't really rich. It was Noah, the extra from the war movie, who found me after I passed out. He tried to make it on his own, but ended up landing only corpse rolls. Now he was back playing this show the backdoor way. Tonight, we were tasked with buying groceries together. Noah proved to be a master of daily life, a natural negotiator. While he haggled at the farmer's market, I squatted in front of a fish tank, staring at a carp. He returned with a small stool from a vegetable vendor and slid it under me. Properly seated, I resumed my staring contest with the fish, almost dozing off. Finally, he returned with bags in hand and gently scooped me up. During dinner, I drifted as usual until I noticed something. "The carp," I murmured. Noah placed a piece of fish on my plate. "You watched it a long time at the market. Thought you'd like it? Don't worry, I used my own money." I held my chopsticks in my mouth for a long moment. "Thank you, Noah." On the 6th day, the challenge was to recreate a career highlight to impress a local farmer. Everyone prepared confidently, Wyatt with his Olympic swim, Roxy and Sienna with acclaimed acting scenes, and so on. Then the director announced lots would decide whose highlight each person would perform. Zane drew Finn and attempted K-pop dancing, resulting in a bizarre, stiff hip ritual. Finn drew Sienna and performed a dramatic miscarriage scene, convulsing oddly. Sienna drew Wyatt but couldn't swim. So I ended up towing her to shore. Roxy drew Zane and performed music so off-key it physically hurt. Finally, it was Noah and me, both our highlights playing corpses. The cast. I laid in the sun, drifting off when Noah leaned over. "Director?" "Hey, corpse, who told you you could come back to life?" Noah ignored him, carefully applying sunscreen to my face. "The consequence?" He didn't get dinner. Later, I knocked on his door and shared half of my sweet potato. He beamed, clearly starving. Director, the cameras see you. Put that back. Noah ate it in 3 bites, patted my head, and promised, I'll take you out for a proper dinner later. The final day was relaxed. With a generous budget, the cast explored the town, ending with a bonfire party. Sienna suggested truth or dare. The bottle landed on Sienna. Is there anyone you dislike? She shot me a glance, but answered honestly. No, it landed on Roxy. Kiss the person to your right. Roxy kissed me multiple times, leaving me dizzy. Later, Noah drew the same dare to kiss the person on his left. His face turned scarlet. Live chat. Okay, I kind like of this. Are people weird for thinking Penny is blushing? Stop. Fire spark. Someone help her. Noah panicked as my hair smoldered slightly. I tugged his sleeve and calmly kissed his cheek. Is this the penalty? He quickly poured water over my head, extinguishing the tiny flame. I'll get you a towel. I said my goodbyes to the group and wandered to the small river to zone out. Finn and Zane soon found me. We wrote a song for you, Finn said. Hope you like it. I nodded. Zane strummed the guitar and the two of them sang together. I didn't fully understand the lyrics, but the emotions, vast, gentle, weightless things, floated through the air. What does that English line mean? I asked. Zane replied softly. It means you came like the wind crossing the ocean to find me. I was quiet for a moment. My life is very boring. No one would describe us as the wind, Zane murmured. Finn jumped in. That was my idea. His original lyric was like gentle water, but I thought you were more like the wind. For once, Zane didn't argue. He added, Yeah, a free warm wind that blows across lakes and swamps and rivers. A small smile touched my lips. Oh. Then Zane blurted out, Penny, I like you. Can you give me a chance? I was thinking about my old life by the water and absent-mindedly made a sound of agreement. Finn froze. Hey, that wasn't part of the plan, you little punk. How dare you make a move on my mama, Penny? I'll kill you. He grabbed Zane by the collar and dragged him away. Barely a minute later, Ethan Cole appeared, pressing his lips together. Penny, a lot of people online are misunderstanding our relationship. I hadn't processed what he meant, so I defaulted to my usual response. I'm sorry. Perhaps, he said, we could get to know each other better? And just as quickly he disappeared again, leaving me confused and sleepy. A few minutes later, Noah arrived with a big fluffy towel, still red-faced. Penny, I've liked you for a long time. I already talked to my family, and if you're willing, I was barely conscious and mumbled something that sounded like, yes, behind us, hidden in a tree. The red light of a small fixed camera blinked unnoticed. I nearly coughed up a lung. Penny, you're a viral sensation. A woman appeared with a comb. The moment I got in the car, she tried to fix my hair. The singed patch had turned my fluffy explosion into a choppy mess. She handed me a phone. Log into your Twitter. Say hi to your new fans. Maybe do a little conda. I scrolled through the trending topics, my expression slowly turning grave. Brenda didn't notice. By the way, did anything happen last night? She asked. I was so busy fielding offers, I didn't finish the live stream. I didn't answer, eyes glued to a wildly popular poll. Which boyfriend should Penny Ross end up with? It slowly dawned on me that I might have accidentally acquired multiple boyfriends. I paused, remembering Brenda's advice to engage with fans, and posted a tweet at Penny Ross Official asking for a friend. What do you do if you accidentally get 2 or 3 boyfriends at the same time? Replies came instantly. At user, dump 2 of them. What are you going to do? Save them for Christmas. I typed back slowly at Penny Ross Official. Which one do you want? The replies flooded in, mostly question marks at PennyFan01. The expression is dump 2 of them. It doesn't mean you offer 2 of them up. Brenda finally tamed my hair and leaned over with a huge smile. So what are you chatting with your fans about? You're famous now. Why the long face? Her eyes scanned the screen. Her smile vanished. Penny Ross. My hand twitched and I accidentally refreshed the page. New high engagement replies appeared at the top. At Ethan Cole Official. Our first meeting was a misunderstanding. Perhaps we could have a new beginning. At Zane. You are the wind that crossed the Pacific. A storm I never saw coming. At Noah Pierce, we don't just have a past of standing shoulder to shoulder. We have a long, lucky future, too. For some reason, at that moment, I felt incredibly homesick. Maybe it was time for a vacation back to South America for a bit and, figure out how to break up with a couple of people.